Special Sweet 16 edition. Today, we are going to look at the late game on Thursday night, the first late game between Florida Atlantic, the Owls, who are the number 9 seed, against the Tennessee Volunteers. Tennessee is favored by 5.5 points. Your best bet to bet on this game is go to BetMGM. Make sure you check out in the link to the description down below if you're watching on YouTube to get to BetMGM. Now, following an impressive 65-52 win over fifth-seeded Duke in the round of 32, Rick Barnes' Tennessee Volunteers look to advance to the Elite Eight for the first time since 2010. It will not come easy against Dusty May's 33-3 Florida Atlantic Owls. The Owls punched their first ever ticket to the Sweet 16 after a 78-70 victory over a relentless Fairleigh Dickinson bunch, and they have aspirations of keeping their Final Four hopes alive. Now, although they closed as 3.5-point favorites to Duke, Tennessee looked like the clear favorite and better team as they operated as the aggressor in their round of 32 matchup. They were relying on an elite defense to out-physical the Blue Devils, and they did it. Now, Tennessee held Duke to a season and NCAA tournament low 52 points on just 0.85 points per possession while forcing 14 turnovers, while the nation's most efficient defense per KenPom is capable of shutting down any offense, generating consistent scores on offense has been a challenge for Tennessee so far this season. Now, senior forward, and I'm going to screw this name up, Olivier Nakamura, career day of 27 points, 10 of 13 shooting, helped nix those deficiencies as Tennessee scored 1.07 points per possession. That type of offensive efficiency could lead the Volunteers to their first national championship in school history if they're able to maintain it. Fellow seniors Santiago Vescovi also did his part, scoring 14 points while reining in 4 3-pointers to give the Volunteers ample breathing room in the second half. Now, for the Owls, they had a fairly fortunate opening round win over Memphis, which they won at the gun, and Florida Atlantic outlasted tournament darlings Fairleigh Dickinson behind an all-time performance from lead guard Janelle Davis, 29 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 steals. And Davis's 29-12-5-5 stat line was the first 25-10-5-5 stat line in the NCAA tournament history. As the Indiana native put the Owls on his back down the stretch, just as he has done all season. After jumping to an early 27-16 lead, the Owls were trailing by 5 points with 12 minutes left to play. Now, given the crisp pace of the game, 73 total possessions, FAU was able to make up the deficit fairly quickly. But credit to Tobin Anderson's bunch for pulling off the biggest upset in NCAA history at Fairleigh Dickinson over Purdue. And they nearly parlayed that into a second round win, which would have taken them, quite surprisingly, to the Sweet 16. Now, if I look at the best individual matchup here, it's the aforementioned Janelle Davis versus Josiah Jordan James. Now, Tennessee can ill afford to let Davis stuff the stat sheet on Thursday night. So look for them to put 6'6 senior guard James on Davis to keep him in check. In FAU's 3 losses this season, Davis has shot just 33% from the 2-point territory, while under his leverage of well under the 54.6% he normally shoots at. Jordan James's length could give Davis some problems. And if he can take Davis out of his rhythm, I think the Volunteers have a real shot to return to the Final 8. Now, the biggest stat to know here in this Tennessee versus Florida Atlantic game, guys, is second chance scoring opportunities. They figure to be a major factor in the outcome of this game. And FAU is going to have his handful against an elite rebounding team in Tennessee. The Volunteers entered the Sweet 16, posting the 7th best offensive rebound rate in college basketball at 36.4% of their missed shots. Florida Atlantic ranks in the top 50 in offensive rebound rate allowed on defense, but is yet to face a team as good and as dangerous as Tennessee is on the offensive glass. Now, if I'm picking this game, if the Volunteers could get another big-time performance from one of their rotational pieces, like Nakamura gave them in round of 32, Tennessee could beat anybody in the country. Chances are Nakamura is not going to replicate his 27-point effort. Now, Florida Atlantic has to stay within striking distance for most of this contest, but Tennessee's elite rebounding abilities are going to help the Volunteers notch a multi-possession win over the Owls. Right now, the point spread is 5.5 points right now. I don't think Florida Atlantic is going to be able to generate the offense to be able to stay within that 5.5 points or to win this game. So my top recommended bet, if you go to MG Bet MGM, is take Tennessee minus 5.5 over Florida Atlantic. Guys, make sure you check us out at The Grueling Truth. Check out all of our videos. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification button on YouTube. For now, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been watching and listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.